A long time ago, in the beautiful kingdom of Babylon, there lived a good and wise man named Daniel. Daniel loved God with all his heart. Every single day, Daniel knelt by his window and prayed to God. He thanked God for his love, and he asked God for help and guidance. Daniel did this 3 times every day, no matter what. King Darius, the ruler of Babylon, liked Daniel very much. Daniel was honest, kind, and full of wisdom. Because Daniel worked so hard and made good choices, King Darius gave him an important job. He put Daniel in charge of many things in the kingdom. In fact, the king thought about making Daniel the most important leader of all, second only to himself. But not everyone was happy about this. Some of the other officials, men named Zarek, Hadad, and Malak, were jealous of Daniel. "It's not fair," Zarek grumbled. "Why should Daniel be in charge?" Hadad asked. "He doesn't even pray to the king," Malak sneered. "He prays to his God." The men didn't like Daniel's honesty. They didn't like how much King Darius trusted him, and so they made a plan to get Daniel in trouble. "Let's watch Daniel very carefully," Zarek said. "Maybe he'll make a mistake." But they watched and never found anything wrong. Daniel did his work well. He was kind to the people, fair in his decisions, and faithful in everything he did. Finally, Hadad sighed. "The only way to trap him is through his God." "Yes," Malak agreed. "He prays every day. Maybe we can use that against him." The jealous men hurried to the palace and bowed low before King Darius. "O great king," they said, "you are so wonderful. You should make a law that for 30 days no one can pray to anyone but you. If anyone disobeys, they should be thrown into the lion's den." King Darius thought about it. He liked the sound of people praying only to him. Without thinking about Daniel, he agreed. He signed the new law and sealed it with his royal ring. Once a law was sealed, it could not be changed. The officials smiled slyly. Their plan was working. But Daniel knew he could never stop praying to God. He loved God too much. So Daniel went to his room, opened his window, and prayed just like he always did. The jealous officials saw him and ran to tell the king. "Daniel broke your law," they shouted. King Darius was very sad. He didn't want to hurt Daniel, but the law couldn't be changed. So, the soldiers brought Daniel to the lion's den. Inside the deep, dark den, the lions waited. Their names were Asher, Lake, and Mara. They were strong and powerful, with sharp teeth and loud roars. King Darius looked at Daniel and said, "May your God, whom you serve so faithfully, rescue you." The soldiers rolled a big stone over the entrance, and Daniel was left alone with the lions. Or so it seemed. The end. It was a quiet night in Babylon. The stars sparkled high above, but deep beneath the palace it was dark and still inside the lion's den. 3 great lions lived there, Asher, Lake, and Mara. They were strong and mighty lions, with big paws and thick manes, but their hearts were kind, and they listened when God spoke. That night, something different happened. The big stone door at the top of the den slowly rolled away. Light from torches shone down, and the lions heard footsteps. They moved back quietly and watched as the guards lowered a man down into their den. "It's Daniel," whispered Asher, his golden eyes wide. "The man who prays to God every day," said Lake softly. "The one who is good and kind," added Mara. Daniel stood tall and brave. He wasn't crying or shouting. Instead, he folded his hands and whispered a prayer. "Dear God," Daniel said, "I trust you. I know you are with me, even here." As the guards rolled the heavy stone back over the den, darkness filled the space again. But Daniel wasn't afraid, and neither were the lions. Then something amazing happened. A soft, beautiful light glowed in the darkness. The lions turned their heads and saw a shining figure standing beside Daniel. "It's an angel," said Asher, bowing his head. "God has sent him to protect Daniel," Lake whispered. Mara smiled softly. "I can feel God's peace." The angel stood quietly near Daniel and reached out his hand. At once, the lions felt calm and warm. "You must not harm this man," the angel said kindly. "We will keep him safe," promised Asher. "We will watch over him," added Lake. "We will be his friends tonight," said Mara. Daniel sat down on the smooth stone floor. He looked at the angel and smiled, knowing God had heard his prayers. The lions gently lay beside him, keeping him warm and safe. Mara curled up by Daniel's feet. Lake rested his head near Daniel's hand. Asher sat tall, watching the darkness with his bright golden eyes. All through the night, Daniel prayed and thanked God for his love. "Thank you for sending your angel," Daniel whispered. "Thank you for keeping me safe." The lions listened to his prayers. They could feel the love and peace of God in the den. "This is a special night," said Mara softly. "I'm glad we can help," Lake murmured. "We are part of God's plan," Asher rumbled quietly. As the night went on, the angel stayed close, shining softly in the dark. The lions and Daniel rested together, safe under God's care. And even though they were deep in the lion's den, it was the safest place Daniel could be, because God was there with him. The end. The sky was turning pink and gold over the kingdom of Babylon. Birds chirped softly as the sun peeked over the hills, but deep beneath the palace, inside the lion's den, it was quiet and peaceful. Daniel had spent the whole night with the lions, Asher, Lake, and Mara. They had kept him safe and warm. God had sent his angel to protect Daniel, and the lions had listened to God's voice. Not one scratch or paw had harmed Daniel all night. As the sun rose, Daniel stretched and smiled. "Thank you, God," he whispered. "You are always with me." The lions stretched too. "You were brave, Daniel," said Asher. "You trusted God," said Lake. "And we were happy to help," added Mara with a gentle swish of her tail. At that very moment, footsteps hurried toward the den. It was King Darius. He had been worried all night and hadn't been able to sleep. As soon as morning came, he rushed to the den, hoping to hear Daniel's voice. The king stood by the big stone and called out, Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve so faithfully, rescued you from the lions?" There was a quiet moment, and then Daniel's voice came clearly from the den. "Yes, O king, my God sent his angel to shut the lions' mouths. They have not hurt me at all." King Darius smiled so wide that his whole face lit up. "Open the den," he commanded. With a heavy rumble, the stone was rolled away. Light poured in, and there stood Daniel, safe, smiling, and surrounded by 3 very calm lions. Asher stood proudly on one side of Daniel. Lake gave a soft rumble like a purr. Mara sat peacefully by his feet, her tail flicking softly. The king's eyes grew wide. "Look at this," he whispered. Daniel stepped out of the den, brushing his robe smooth. Not a scratch could be seen on him. "The lions didn't hurt you at all," King Darius said in amazement. "They are my friends now," Daniel said kindly. "God sent his angel, and these lions listened." King Darius turned and spoke to all his guards and advisors. "Daniel's God is the one true God. He rescues and saves. He sent his angel to protect Daniel from the lions." Asher, Lake, and Mara watched quietly as Daniel and the king walked away. "We did our part," said Mara. "We listened to God," said Lake. "And now everyone knows God is great," added Asher. Back in the palace, King Darius wrote a new law. He told everyone in the land to worship the God of Daniel, the God who had shown his power and his love. And Daniel continued to serve the king, praying to God every day, and sometimes he thought about his lion friends, who had helped show the whole world just how mighty and loving God truly is.